Here it is, number 9.
Already?
Number nine. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Welcome back. We're in the thick of it, right? We're in the
Real heavy.
Yeah, it's getting real. This is a very exciting time for us. There's times in the business where you're able to kind of stop and reflect and look back at things and say, you know what, man, we're really doing this. We're really doing this. You know, sometimes you're right in the middle of it and you don't really take the time to appreciate it. So we just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to all the supporters, everybody who's believed in us, all of our clients that have helped support us. Obviously, all of our supporters on Instagram, YouTube, all of our followers, all of our subscribers, all of our fellow detailers and podcasters.
And thanks to the people that didn't support us.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to the haters. You know, it's been a crazy 2024. You know, it's going by really quickly, but it's
things are in motion.
Yes, things are definitely in motion.
It's like we set everything up so they can be in motion. I don't know how to. It's hard to.
It's very difficult to explain.
To explain, but all the balls have been pushed forward. You know, the domino effect that's been pushed forward.
Yeah.
That one's been pushed forward. That one's been, and now we're just waiting for it to just take off.
Yeah.
So
it's a little scary. You know, it's always scary, and you always get nervous whenever you start going into uncharted territory.
Well, that's what we were telling. I was like, man, we're to a part now where, hey, man, I don't know how to track this stuff. Like this is like some advanced analytics stuff where I don't even know where to start on how to. Yeah. This ain't your regular pull this number.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
and that's we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's part of also being a creator. When you create, and I'm not just talking about YouTube creator, I'm talking about being a creator in general. We all have this ability to create things in our lives and our business. And when you're creating something that maybe doesn't really have a blueprint, you kind of have to figure things out and say, okay, is this working for us? Is it not working for us? It could be risky, but again, the way that we approach everything, we kind of go in with risk management in the forefront. So even if it is uncharted waters or an area that we've never been in, at least we know that we're going to go in with very low risk, if any. And we have some exciting news coming up as well about a lot of things that we have rolling out. But these things that we're rolling out, it's not like it's all happening right now.
Right.
Some of them have taken years on the front end to actually place into motion.
Right, part of how you started the business, right, where all these things are already on the forefront.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's hard to explain too. Like,
yes,
when you're going in, all the things that we got going on, we'll get to a couple of them, and some you're just gonna have to wait and see. The branding.
Yeah.
That was all taken care of.
Yeah. That was all thought of even before the
Yes. So that put the business so much steps ahead. Many steps ahead before you even hit the ground.
Like we're prepared for the next thing because we kind of anticipated a lot of this. And the more that I kind of see things get into motion, the more I am starting to kind of look at myself and my skill set, and I'm realizing I have a whole nother skill set that I've kind of always knew that I had, but I think now more than ever for myself, I'm starting to see like more examples of it and more actual things happening because and that's pretty much like kind of forecasting. Like where I want things to be, what I want to do, what I want things to look like, how I want things to feel, how I want, events to go, how I want, that vision where it's like clear, calculated, everything is like in order. And you've been there. Like when I tell you, oh, I got this idea, I want to do something. And you're kind of like, oh, we should do this. I'm like, I already got that covered.
Right.
Oh no, that part's are, and I don't do it to be rude. It's just, there's things that I'm thinking about in my mind for things that can possibly happen next year, the following year, the year after, so all of these things are kind of like, and sometimes they come up because there's an issue. Like right now we're wearing sweaters. Well, you know, people, you might be asking, why are you wearing sweaters in June?
It's cold in here.
It's cold in here. But this is something that last year we said, yo, there's no way we're not going to have the studio have an AC. We're going to be spending a lot of time in there. That's, you know, we're going to be making money in there. We're going to be bringing, you know, show vehicles there. We're going to be doing coatings. Like, we got to make sure that this place is comfortable to work in.
We work better comfortable.
Yes.
I mean,
you know,
obviously anybody would if they work better comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what we shoot for.
yes.
That's high on the list as far as even getting money. Make sure
Yes,
we're comfortable.
controlling that environment that you're working in, whether you're making YouTube content, whether you're a mobile detailer, if you have a studio space, a warehouse, a shop, whatever it is, if you're not comfortable there, man, you're not going to perform to your top of your capabilities. So
You're the business owner. You got complete control.
Yeah.
So this is kind of along the lines of what we're discussing. So I was doing the numbers, this morning, catching up. We said working comfortable. Don't overexert yourself. So you know when we did Mike, we were out there 9 hours.
yes,
So the next day we had a regular maintenance client that was on our only job the next day. Do you know how long it took us to do that maintenance client after that horrible day with Mike?
no,
Hour and 27 minutes for maintenance clients. The average before that was an hour and 1 minute. So from that hard day,
man,
that
it's-
increased over
yeah.
25%.
and that's a 24-hour.
Yes.
That's 24 hours later. So
Yes.
for those of you.
That's huge. Like,
Yes.
I don't want to be out there an extra 25 minutes.
And not just that, but it's like you're moving slower
Yes.
because you're, you know what I
Tired.
mean?
Yeah.
The effects.
Yeah.
So that may even tread on. I would like to see what the following day, if we had any maintenance or anything.
I think we had the
following
next day off. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I would like to see even the second day. Because if there's fall off even the second day,
Yeah, for sure.
that's
We can't.
then that's when you know.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just not worth it at all.
So for you guys that say it doesn't matter, I can work through anything, man, take a hard look at yourself. It does matter.
You're telling me it's affecting our money and our time the day after, you know? So just a little food for thought right there, guys. You know, if you're just tuning in, this is not always how things have been.
No.
You know, we worked really, really hard. I was able to get the business to a certain point, and get my visions and get what I wanted details to be out to a certain point. But without my brother jumping in and helping, and without, you know, our big, you know, we have a whole network of people that we, you know, who are considered the Details family. You know what I mean? We have designers, we have videographers, we have mechanics, we have collaborators, we have, you know, clients, supporters, we have people who, you know, we've had opportunities where people want to invest into us. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're willing to give you time or X amount of funds to, you know, sponsorships, things like that. Like, you know, and you guys know who you are, and people that have really reached out to us to show us love and to say, hey, I want to be a part of this. We are really grateful for that. And as I said before, there was only so much I could do on my own. And this is an example of why it's very important on who you partner with and the trust that's given. You know, Sal says, when Sal tells me, hey, it's cool if we got to take X amount of time off so you can work on this, because I know on the back end it's gonna be so much better for us. You know, whether that be, you know, taking the rig out of operation, whether that be, you know, like remodeling a studio, whether that be, you know, getting a whole new lighting setup. There's a certain point when your business where it's like everything got to level up. When you're investing into the business to make things faster, just do it the right way, you know, because it's very important when you're growing to not waste that time. Because say if this stuff didn't work, and we try, you know, everybody will say, hey, it works. And this happens a lot with us. And this is why we don't, I'm sorry, guys, for those of you who say, oh, did you try this one? Did you try it? I'm not even going to waste my time because they're all about the same. You know, for I would say 95% of products out there, it's pretty much all about the same. There's very few that are, and the ones that are really, really hitting that work, we're going to tell you about it. You know, and we're going to have, actually, the next video we drop is going to be our top tools and products for the year so far, because there's actually been some groundbreaking ones in the past 12 months that we're loving. and we want to share that with you guys. So so stay updated for that one. That one's just going to save you a lot of time and money. And whatever we talk about, trust me, buy it. Don't even waste your time. Just buy it and thank us later. And again, I'm going to preach this till the day I die, is setting goals. You know, we set our goals for 2024, and the goal, things are happening faster than we've expected. And the funny part about it is we kind of let the universe do its thing. We just kind of went out there, did our thing, did what we do, you know, as ourselves, and these opportunities start to arise. And, you know, the universe just attracts things that are like, and we're going now in a direction that we want it to be. And now we want to be associated with certain types of detailers and certain types of business owners, and that's happening more than ever.
Right.
So
it's fun, man.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. It's fun to see. And I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank Sal, to thank all of you guys, because this has really gotten to a point where I look at it now and I'm able to really appreciate it and say, man, all that hard work, all that time, all that grinding, like the nasty grinding, it's a testament to our hard work, our organization. You know what I mean? Like, the more organized you are, obviously, the more efficient you're going to be, the better your order of operations is. All of this stuff has been planned out. It's not like it just happens. It's not like you could go out there and do it like the hard way and just say, okay, I'm going to figure this out on the spot. But it's better to have a plan. Set out a plan, figure out what your issues are, figure out what you need to, whether you need to speed up on time, you need to be more proficient at, maybe your setup needs to be rearranged, maybe you need better tools, maybe there's productivity drop off because you're outgrowing your tools.
And that's the part that hurts. Maybe you're outgrowing your tools and you don't know, maybe you're taking too much time. The part that hurts me is there's guys out there that don't know those things are hurting them.
Or they don't realize.
They don't realize it. They don't know. And it's kind of like, well, how do you know what I mean? How do you?
They literally have to feel it and see it for itself. It's like, you have hard-headed people that are like, it's like, hey, this really will help you.
Yes.
Like, oh, no, it won't. I'm cool. But this works just as well. Or I'm okay with this. It's like, we're in a situation.
Or even people reach out to us and we say, hey, what are you doing? Okay, well, don't do that no more. Do this. And they're trying to get the reply back is trying to do the same thing, which is with a different variation of it. And it's just like, yo, man, it's the same thing. You're doing this to yourself, and they just can't comprehend. They're hard-headed.
Or they just have too much pride. They're like, no, this is the way I've always done it. I'm gonna keep. It's like, you gotta. It's all part of learning and development. If you're not willing to grow, it's not going to. It's just not gonna happen. So if any of you are having issues like that and you need some personalized business consulting on any part of your business, please reach out. I'll link the consulting line. It's in all of our videos. Click on that consulting line, set up an appointment. Let us know what you want to talk about. We get straight to the point, and we only talk about what you want. We only discuss the things that you want. It's your money. We want you to get the most out of these conversations. So if that's you, reach out. There's always room for improvement, and there's always room to get better as a business owner.
And if you don't want to call, man, just pay attention to those shorts and those YouTube videos. I bet you we got something for you.
And don't forget, guys, when you guys come to a milestone, don't forget to celebrate. Mm-hmm. You know, we really celebrate. And the other day I was kind of having not a frustrating moment, but it really felt like things were not in motion, like things weren't moving. It felt stagnant. I knew I was putting out a lot of work, and I knew we were doing a lot of things and touching a lot of people, you know, and collaborating with a lot of different minds and networking, but it didn't feel like anything was really going on. And then I asked Sal, I said, hey, how do things feel to you? And he had a completely different outlook on it, because he's looking at what's actually happening. I'm thinking 6 months, a year in advance, so it's hard for me to sometimes kind of look at what's happening now. And Sal goes, what are you talking about, man? We got this going on, this is happening, this is in motion. We have this. And then I'm kind of thinking about, I'm like, ooh, all this stuff is going to start. Because it's in motion, but it's not in, you know what I mean? It's going to gain traction and move quicker.
All those things are going to take more time.
Yes.
More, you know what I mean? That's not detailing, because the detailing is done.
Yeah.
When I say done, like, we don't no longer have to worry about the details.
Yes, that's going to keep organically growing. Yes. Like that's not even, we're not worried about, we never advertised, so we don't have to keep up on that. We never, we pretty much screen our clients before we take anything on. So there's nothing that's like unexpected being thrown our way. We don't have a slow time of year. There's things that we're refocusing the business on, and those things are going to be coming up quick now. So now we're actually going to have to do the physical work on that end. And it kind of made me nervous because now I'm thinking, okay, well, now we got a lot of stuff to do. We got to deliver on these things. So I'm thinking about that on the back end. I try to have Sal think of the more of the stuff up front. Okay, hey, you get this set up, you do this. So Sal's actually doing the whatever physical work, anything with the computer, Sal's working on it beforehand. And then on the back end, I'm on the creative side. So we didn't always have this. You have to earn the control of the business, if that makes any sense. It's not like you could go in there and we weren't rejecting customers at the beginning saying, no, your car's too dirty, or no, we don't like the attitude you're giving me. Like, I just had to take it and realize going forward, okay, that's not what I want to, that's not how I want to operate my business. I don't want to deal with those type of customers every single day, so things had to change. And when Sal came in, I was like, okay, Sal, most of this is gone, but we need to make sure from now on and then when Sal would work with me, I would ask him, did you see a difference in that experience of working or that environment or that whatever it was compared to what we normally do? And he's just like, yes. I say, is it worth it to carry on with that? Would you, because now at this part, I have a financial responsibility with Sal. If I eliminate that right away, it may take a while to regain another client or whatever. Or maybe that was a client that comes 3-4 times a year and, but it's always headache, but we get paid. But almost to ask Sal, hey, is that headache even worth it? And if Sal says no, then it's a no. Because we're both good, like if financially the business is okay with dropping a couple clients, so be it. And that's what we've done, So when you work in not only an environment that is in your favor, but with people that are in your favor, it makes things extremely easy. And you're not as fatigued. You feel better about your work days. There's never days where I'm like, oh man, we got to go to, you know what I mean? Right. Like there was times where we were doing stuff out of town too far, and those are gone, and it's like, whew. So starting from the bottom, it's always different for everybody. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's idea of starting from the bottom is different, So I just don't want anybody to make excuses if this is something they want to do. We see guys all day long, that speak about, okay, you got to get this to get started. Oh, how much is it going to stop? If you ask somebody right now, how much does it cost to get started? If you want to become a professional detailer, how many different answers are you going to get?
Yeah, who knows?
Like I've heard people say, oh, you can do it for $100, and I've heard other people say, oh, it'll cost you, and they say it without a blink of an eye. Oh, it'll cost you at least $15,000-$16,000 to get started. It's like, what? Everybody has a different idea of a starting point. But from a business perspective, it's always a stupid decision to go into something financially, put yourself under, or put in a lot of capital, and people call it an investment. It's not an investment if you don't. It's an investment when you have some knowledge about the subject, or going in with some sort of research or understanding, or maybe you've already done that before. But if you're going in blindly, that's not an investment. That's called a gamble. So when you do things like that, it can hurt you in a very bad way. It'll put your business under. I've seen guys do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with having a bigger product. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to have your ducks in order at a small level before you do it on a big level, because you do it on a big level, there's a lot more moving parts that you got to account for, and there's a lot more things you got to take care of. So yeah, start off how you got to start off. Start off with the things that you need. Don't do services that are out of your wheelhouse. Just try to do everything that you do well, whether that be car washes, vacuums, wipe downs. The car wash is part of a detail. Get the car wash right. Get the car wash in order before, like in a restaurant. You got to learn how to do dishes before you can get on a line. And then before you become sous chef, you got to know how to work the line. Like it's all in, it's all progression. So the car wash, there's nothing wrong with starting and just doing car washes. Like you're starting and you do those car washes good. You get them to the point where you're like, I can't wash a car any better. Then you learn how to decon. Same thing. Wash, now you're washing and now you're deconning. Get to the point where you're like, I can't decon any better than I'm deconning now. Okay, now learn to polish. Like you can go in progressions like that. And that's how you become good at what you're doing. So we got a video here that we really want to highlight because this is a guy right here who's really not making any excuses for starting. The hardest thing for me to do when starting this business was people seeing me at the bottom, or what I considered the bottom. People that I went to grammar school with, they would call me up, make an appointment, they wouldn't even know it's me. And then I get there and they're like, oh, Joel, what are you doing? They don't know what I was doing for the past X amount of years. They don't know that I was in operations. They didn't know that I, all that other stuff. All they know is, oh, Joel's here working out of this little truck. Like my man must be struggling. He must be, and that wasn't the case, but that was still the hardest part for me. And I think that's a hard part for everybody. Like that self-conscious part is kind of like, oh man, I don't want to see that. All I got is I'm embarrassed of this equipment that I got. Man, get rid of all of that right now. Get rid of all that. As long as you look clean, your stuff is in order and you're doing the job right, that's all that matters. And this video here is going to prove that you can make money at any level with any products, with any techniques, if your delivery is on point and especially when those results are showing.
And had several questions from my last YouTube video about how my actually water trunk works. So I'm gonna break it down to you real quick with a quick informative video. Come and follow along with me. I'm gonna go ahead and break it down to you. My trunk has a petroleum steamer in there. It's got extra cords, gasoline tank, chamois, brushes. These are long handled brushes I use to scrub the rear wheels. This is a brush that I actually use right here to do SUVs and big vans and stuff like that. I got several mitts that I use. I got a mitt to clean the rear wheels and actually the rims, and another mitt for the body because you don't want to contaminate the two. Like I said, man, the trunk is self-sufficient. People stop me all the time. I be at barber shops, beauty shops, like in the parking lot setting you see here. And the first thing they ask, where your water source come from? So I'm just gonna break it down with a quick video today to show you where my water source come from. And you can wash 6 to 8 vehicles with this car if you're going full throttle. And if you do waterless wash, I can do 10 to 12.
All right, so that's just a quick example of somebody making it work. He's working out of a Grand Marquis.
96 Grand Marquis right there, big body.
Doing some work with not much.
My man's riding luxury too.
Yeah. So there's no excuse really to not make money in this industry. I'm not saying stay right there. Like you got to progress up if you want certain things in business. But as far as starting out, you don't have to have a lot of capital. You don't have to have everything. And another part of this video, my man says he gets a lot of the stuff on like OfferUp,
right?
Craigslist. So he's buying secondhand stuff that you can negotiate, wheel and deal on. And, like we've taken secondhand stuff from people. Like we've even traded with people certain things. There's like one of our polishers we bought used from someone, still leveling up, but you don't have to spend a ton of money doing it. And you can get where you want to be quicker than you think, off of very little money. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot nicer not having a payment on your studio, not having a payment on your rig. It eases so much off of the business, like financially. You don't have to worry about rent for your studio. You don't have to worry about, and I know that's not possible for everybody. Don't be afraid to invest in the right things. And don't be afraid to start at a low point. It only gets better. It's not going to get worse if you're learning, if you're progressing and developing every day, which you should be. You don't even necessarily have to be, working. You could be doing work another way. Like people think that, oh, I'm a detailer, I need to just, it's like, no, you could be sharpening them up on your business skills. You could be taking the schooling and training. You could be watching YouTube videos. You could be watching how-tos, how to wet sand, how to use a polisher even before you get a polisher.
You could take a shower, you can get a haircut, you can brush your teeth.
Yeah, you can start cleaning up your vocabulary. You can start, you can work on that stuff. Work on your presentation. Talk to yourself in the mirror. If you want to get on YouTube, get that rolling out. Like the videos that I saw that meme. It's embarrassing for me to watch videos that I was making at the very beginning to now, like even a few months ago. But it's part of progression. You guys have seen it, so. This is what happens when you work hard and you know what to do and you take the proper steps to get to where you want to be. It's easy for everybody to say, oh, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. Because it is easy to start. It's very, very easy to start. But it's difficult to follow through. You got to have a lot of discipline, if you want to do things the right way. There's ways of doing things. There's millions of ways of doing things. But if you want to do it the right way, it's almost like there's twice as much work that has to go into it, right?
Yes, but it's again, that's one of those things that's hard to explain.
And most people don't think there's a difference.
Yeah.
Like on the Born Detailers they were talking about. They're like, shout out to the Born Detailers, Shad and Jamie. They had mentioned us in their last video. They were talking about how we move. How we do things and how they could appreciate that. And Jamie's like, I kind of, maybe that's something that I'm not. And not everybody has that. Not everybody has it. And I understand that. And some people, like, you put me and Jamie in the same room, Jamie will make me look at it like an amateur when it comes to polishing or refinement or wet sanding or any of that stuff. Like, technically, he's just nicer than me. But when it comes to customer service, it might be a different story. You know what I mean? So everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses, but it doesn't mean you have to have all of them, but at least have a little bit. Like he said, that's something I need to work on, or find somebody that's what they're good at on the team, and they're going to be the one that takes it to the next level. So it's important to be well-rounded, but again, that's very difficult for a lot of people to do. Even when people start a business and then they realize that they got to do this. It's like the social media. I think that's a good example. Like once you get started with the business, right? You got the business, you work your normal hours, which is not a 9 to 5, or which is not even less than that for most people. Usually like a 12-hour day. Mm-hmm. Like what's the saying? I started a business so I didn't have to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
I started so I could work 24 hours because literally that's what's happening. It doesn't stop. So during that time, people don't realize, okay, well, I got a business. Now when I'm done working, I got to do social media stuff. I got to answer text messages. I got to respond to these people. I got to send out this. I got to do this. There's a lot more that's involved with it. But if you want to do things, but now when you're talking about getting into certain things that maybe you're not good at, that's a whole nother discipline that you're trying to take on. And that can be very, very difficult. Like I had to take on this YouTube thing. I didn't want to do this YouTube shit. I didn't want to, but I was like, there's so much information I have that can help people. Like I got to do it. I would feel like a crook not doing it, not getting this information out. Like seeing all these guys in the industry just kind of hurting and seeing local guys around us hurting or their business going down. It's like, we could have helped you. You know what I mean? Like we could have helped you. Like it didn't have to go that way. So yeah, when you want to learn a certain discipline, it's gonna take some time. Sal took time being on camera. Sal in the past 2.5 years he had to learn how to he didn't know how to detail. He had to learn how to detail, how to learn how to polish, how to learn how to take care of the customer engagement, book the appointments, go through his analytics and really see based on the industry and based on what we're doing, what works for us. So that's an adjustment. Whenever you make adjustments in business, it gets difficult, and but it's either, what am I going to do? Just not do it. The more you leave that stuff on the table, that's spotting an opportunity. Like Jamie said, hey, I could do a little bit better on that customer service end, and that's where I'm going to work at. That's somebody who spotted that opportunity and said, yo, this is an area we need to work on. Let's get to it. And
no excuses.
No excuses. And that's hard to do. You know, like same thing with Dustin. Dustin was like, hey, I got these issues with my staff. Like, I got to train them right. Like, I'm going to invest my time to do that, to be the best at that. You know what I mean? Like Shad said, hey, I want to be the president of the IDA. He made that goal. He focused on that goal. He didn't stop doing everything he's doing, but he made sure he allocated time and did what he had to do in order to get there. You know, so that's what we kind of have to do with a YouTube channel. We kind of have to do with our customer service, with our online presence, with anything that we have going on in the future. It's more work. Like, you got to understand, it's going to be more work if that's where you want to be in your business. You know, more interactions with people, more face-to-face time, more networking, all of those things. And I'm not just talking about with other influencers or other people on YouTube or other chemical companies. I'm talking about with your clients. You know, with your clients, with your build rapport with people around you, with the mechanics, with the other detailers, with the car community, with you know what I mean? All of those things have to be kind of all intact also. You could just be a detailer and not be involved with cars and stuff, but it makes it a whole lot better when you are in the middle of that. So that's all I got to say on this one, man. I just want to say thank you guys again for all of our growth and all the support that you guys have given us. And we're going to continue to put in the extra effort to give you guys valuable information and things that are going to help you change your business and be a better business person in general.
So man, we got some new additions coming to the podcast, some additions, changes, whatever, but it's coming soon, and we think you guys are going to like it. So
it's going to make some noise.
Yes.
It's going to make some noise. So we're excited for it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Episode 9 already canceled. It's a wrap. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.
Later.